Okay, so here's my project. It's basically an aluminum project, and what it is it just is this plate here that has a radius to it. Nothing special. It's thick aluminum, and then we have these two pieces here that are going to go on the corner, like so, and along the edges. And then we have this piece here, which is radius and is going to be along the radius edge of this. Now, as you can probably plainly see, well, let me bring the camera up so you can see a little better. As you can see, the radius is not quite there. Now, this piece of aluminum bar was pre-bent by the customer, and as you can see, they didn't quite get it. So I'm going to have a little bit of an interesting time getting it this way. I have a couple ideas of how I'm going to accomplish that, and then once I get the radius just right, then I'm going to go ahead and weld it together, and so we'll see how we do. Anyway, let's get started. Now, I don't have sophisticated bending tools because that's really not something I specialize in, but what I do have are one of these Harbor Freight benders, and I'm going to go ahead and gently massage this thing and see if hopefully I can get it to the right radius. Once I bend it a little bit, the radius is on the other side, and we'll see if that works out. So, wish me luck. Okay, this is so close that I think we're there. If I try to do anything more to this, I think I'll be sorry. Basically what we have is the radius. Now you can see right here, I don't know if you can tell from the shot, but it's a little inset. So what I'll do is I'll tack weld this right here in the center section of this, and then after it's tacked really well, I'll start gently manipulating this, probably put a band clamp or something around it, gently manipulate, because it's not going to take much, and just kind of lightly form it to the actual radius of this piece. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and tack this up now. I tried to get a good angle on this guy here, but it was a little bit difficult, and I am still getting used to the new camera, so forgive me for that. As you can see, I did speed up the video here just to make it go a little bit quicker. So don't think that just because the sound is so high here that we have the frequency set so high on this thing that it's causing that. It's just the fact that I sped up the video. But anyhow, you can see how the bead is coming out nice and easy, and hopefully that will continue throughout the rest of this build. Okay, I should probably mention the particulars. I am using 4043 filler wire, 3/32 filler wire on 6061 aluminum using 100% argon, and I'm maxing out at 200 amps. Okay, here you can see that I'm actually laying on this thing for a very long time. I got the filler wire right next to it, but I'm not actually dabbing any into it because this aluminum is pretty thick, and I do suggest preheating on these type of pieces. Believe it or not, I did preheat when I wasn't filming a little bit, but clearly in the time it took to set this whole shot up, it seems like the aluminum is cooled off, and now finally I'm able to dip in some filler metal because the aluminum has melted to that point where I can do so. So that's why the delay. I will say this, it's a perfect opportunity to tell you all to make sure to be patient when TIG welding, especially aluminum, because you don't want to start adding filler metal before your base metal actually starts to melt. So patience is a virtue here. Okay, we're getting ready for the third and final tack. Again, nothing special except for you really have to light up on this material
and make sure that you actually have base metal melting for proper fusion prior to adding filler metal and prior to advancing. The danger that you run into is if your base metal isn't melted first before you actually start dipping wire in, is that you actually may just kind of set some filler metal right on the surface, kind of like a braze weld, rather than actually penetrating and creating proper fusion. So again, I can't stress this enough. You really got to be patient. You got to really make sure that puddle forms and that your base material is melting.
Okay, now that I have the tacks on them, I'm going to go ahead and remove the clamps. And I'm going to hope that this doesn't lean forward. I don't think it will. I think I'm okay, especially since it's got the radius, and so it kind of will probably tend to keep it in one spot. So we'll take a chance. We'll see what happens. If not, I'll weld it on the other side, and hopefully that'll pull it back. Here goes nothing. There's one, two, three, and four. Success. So now we have our piece that's been welded and still very hot. And you can see it's got three pretty decent sized tacks in there. You can see there's a lot of whiteness on there because this stuff is pretty dirty. Normally you want to see welds and aluminum come out nice and shiny, but this stuff was really dirty. It had a lot of oils on it and stuff like that. Even though it's new material, it was cut on a lubricated bandsaw, and I did use a lot of acetone and whatnot, but I always find that there's something funky going on with this kind of aluminum. But in either case, I had a lot of cleaning action on my machine, and so you got the white film all over everything. So hopefully that's it though. But you can see we have good fusion, good penetration. Everything looks good. The beads look relatively okay. So anyway, let's go on to cutting this piece and welding the rest of it. Okay, so after a bunch of grinding and cutting and fitting up, we got this thing to fit in this into this shape pretty well. So now what I need to do is go ahead and tack it in, and then just go ahead and perform some finish welds inside. So let me get it set up for tacks and then for welds.
Alrighty, well, as you can see here, I've kind of moved ahead. I've got one of the tacks on the left there already in place, and now I'm going to go ahead and hit the other one. Now, I don't know what the heck happened here with my camera. As you can see, I have a lens over it that I'm trying to get the arc shot, but for some weird reason, there's this strange kind of a shadowy effect that's in the center with some brightness around it, and it caused the camera to kind of malfunction and to actually give me some really weak out of focus shots here. So I apologize profusely for that. I'm still working on trying to get the bugs out of this new camera and arranging a lens on it to where I can actually shoot some decent arc shots. So sooner or later I'll get there. Anyway, I've jumped way ahead here. I actually had to scrap a lot of those arc shots because they were so terrible. I try to get these close-up shots, and some of them are okay, so let's take a look at these. Basically, I'm firing up on the aluminum. I'm making sure that there's plenty of heat so that I get a good puddle worked up. And as soon as the puddle is worked up, I go ahead and start to add filler rod and move all at the same time. It's a quick movement because I've got the nice heat in there and my puddle's formed, and I have to judge it based on what I see in front of me, always watching the puddle, always making sure to keep your eye on that. And the puddle's telling me I gotta put some filler rod in there quickly and move quickly, so that's exactly what I did in this instance. And as you can see, the weld bead came out really well fused. It's nice and flat, as if though it penetrated well, and I couldn't be happier about it. Next we have some more, and by the way, what I'm doing is I'm welding on some tabs to this piece, which is something that the client wanted so that they can affix it to wherever it's going to go. I'm not quite sure. I believe this is going to be part of like a shower seat made out of aluminum because of its anti-rust properties. So this is basically going to be the frame of a shower seat, and so those tabs on there are going to be on there so that it can be affixed to a wall or perhaps so that something can be affixed to it so that it can later be tiled over or whatever they're going to do to it. Anyway, same procedure as before. The arc shot again is poor here, and I apologize. But you see how quickly I kind of tooled over that, and I do have this. I do have the speed up a little bit on that, but I just want you to know that even in real speed, it was quick because this stuff got nice and heated up quickly, and I was able to just, you can see the melty quality of that bead. I was able to get in there quickly. I was able to add rod quickly. And just move. And again, I can't say it enough, you've got to keep your eye on the puddle in this instance, or in any instance, no matter what the specification, no matter what the type of welding you're doing, your eye has to be on the puddle. You have to watch the puddle, and you have to see what it's doing. The puddle will dictate how fast you move, how much filler rod you add, whether or not you go side to side or hold the edges. You know, in just about everything, people are always looking for that magic pill, that one trick that will get you over the hump, or that will make you better at whatever it is you're doing, or more effective. I have to say, if there was one thing that I could say is that magic pill here for welding, it would be watching and learning to read the puddle. The puddle is everything in welding. And again, like I said before, it's no matter what process or what technique or how you're applying filler metal, the puddle in welding is everything. And the sooner you learn to read it and recognize its signs and what it's doing and what it likes and doesn't like, the sooner you will become a really good welder. It really is the secret to everything. Alright, well, we're getting ready to close this up. Again, I apologize for the poor quality of the arc shots, but we'll improve on that, I promise. Anyway, thank you all very much for joining me. Make sure to rate and subscribe and comment. I love hearing your comments and suggestions. Make sure to spread the word around too about Weld Fever. I know I haven't been making too many videos lately. I've been very busy, but we're back on it now, so stay with us, okay? We'll see you on the next one. Thanks a lot.